For those that have watched this channel, you guys know that I am an avid fan, practically a mark. You can even say a stan for Bray Wyatt. He's probably one of the most unique characters I have seen since the 80s. And that shows my age. But the fact that this man was able to create lore that stretched out for years on social media and no one caught wind of it until The Fiend came out, it just fascinated me. And for those that haven't seen the series, I actually created a Wrestler's Graveyard series that had Bray Wyatt on it, and this was around the time of WrestleMania 30. I had no idea what was going to happen to him this past summer, so it's kind of eerie watching it now. But honestly, he's one of my favorite characters. I even have him on my top 10 heels list of 2013. I loved the character of Bray Wyatt. That was just magnificently done by Windam Rotunda. The fact that we have the Wyatt 6 and they changed the name, it's not as in the number 6, is SICKS, which I guess they really couldn't get the trademark on making it different, so they had to stick it to that, which I'm fine with. Well, it's weird. I'm not gonna lie, it's weird, but I can deal with it. I'm excited yet concerned. Number one, I don't know why they chose Monday Night Raw to make a debut of a faction that has been waited on since Windam Rotunda was alive. I think this was something they should have done on a pay-per-view. I'm surprised they didn't do it for Clash at the Castle. I'm surprised they didn't do it for any of the overseas pay-per-views except for Saudi Arabia. That's probably something they could not do there. But the fact is, it should have been on a bigger scale, because we waited so long for Uncle Howdy to make his return. We waited so long for the Wyatt 6, and that's the number 6, for probably over a year now, at least close to it. So I would think that they would actually do it on a grander scale, have it on a pay-per-view instead of having it on free TV. But the fact that they did do it, I'm still a bit concerned. Now, around the time when Windam Rotunda was still alive, we had to deal with Vince McMahon, and he didn't really understand the character. He didn't really push the character as hard. He made it difficult for the character's lore to move on without it being destroyed, and everybody wants to forget the infamous Hell in a Cell match between The Fiend and Seth Rollins, which we're trying to forget, as well as the match he had with Goldberg. We're trying to forget. So that makes a lot of people uneasy of what's going to happen when the Wyatt 6 actually get in the ring. Now, I am concerned about how they're going to be pushed. I am concerned about the storylines, but seeing how they had that amazing presentation, that amazing introduction that looks like a straight up horror movie, and also having the most unhinged characters in the WWE playing part of the Wyatt 6, it makes it even more interesting. You got Joe Gacy as Huskus the Pig. You got the possible return of Eric Rowan that plays Ramblin' Rabbit. Then of course you got the Vulture that's played by Dexter Lumis, which I also call Evil Ned Flanders. You have him as the Vulture, and then you also have Abby the Witch that's being played by Nikki Cross. And then you also have the return of Uncle Howdy, which was played by Bo Dallas. You have the most unhinged characters that's a part of the Wyatt 6. You don't have some kind of random dude that's in the group that just got pulled in like what they did with Daniel Bryan, which made no sense, or something really far-fetched like Xavier Woods, or someone that is a squeaky clean babyface being a part of the group. You got the most sinister, unhinged, crazed, psychotic wrestlers in this group. And it can make it work. We all know how unhinged, for those that watch NXT, we all know how completely off Joe Gacy is. So it works. It fits him to a T. I kind of knew that he was going to be a part of a faction like that. In my opinion, it reminds me a little bit of Sanity, but not quite. Sanity was a bit unhinged, but they still had their sanity intact, except for Nikki Cross. She was a bit off, but her character is still off. But other than that, you got Dexter Lumis, which is like, I'm sorry, he's American Psycho in wrestling form. Then you got Eric Rowan, which was one of the original members of the Wyatt family. And of course, you got Bo Dallas, who was the brother of Windam Rotunda, who played Bray Wyatt. This is going to work. This is going to work as a group, as everything is set up now, is going to work. The biggest issue is Trips. It's Triple H. Now everyone's like, oh, Triple H is a good guy, he's going to do it right. No, everybody has to remember that Triple H thinks like Vince McMahon. It's a possibility that this could go wrong. It could be a 50-50 chance that this could go wrong. And everyone's saying it's not going to be any supernatural hoodoo. I'm like, okay, so how can you explain all of the QR codes that's been popping up over the past few months? How can you explain the sinister flicks and flashes that was on the monitors behind everybody that was going to be picked? Remember, before Windam Rotunda passed away, remember that there was actually a little display behind Joe Gacy, and there was also a display behind Alexa Bliss. But I don't think she's going to be a part of it. But there was somewhat supernatural hoodoo around that time. But I think that was around the time that this was on its way out. But honestly, if they make it into a cult, like Cult Bray, I loved Cult Bray in NXT. If they make it into a cult, it would work. If they make it into someone as charismatic, it can work. Not any type of supernatural stuff like they did with Undertaker. It can work if they leave that out. Now, it's not going to really explain how they're introduced. It's not going to really explain how they got all that stuff on the screen. But if they kept it that way, if they made it into a cult, if they made these people completely unhinged, because you notice that it's more like the Attitude Era, maybe half with this Aggression Era. It is not like PG. It's not modern. This is something that's different under the Paul Levesque era. So they could be a little bit edgier. The fact that we saw Chad Gable knocked out with blood coming down his forehead, this is going to probably be a little bit darker, which honestly I'm all for. I'm really into horror, especially in some of the characters that I see in WWE. This is going to work, but they have to be consistent. They have to be consistent with it. They can't change things up. They can't make it supernatural. And since the fact that they have other people that are monitoring this, especially those who are part of the company, like the board, and they have other companies involved, that's the one thing that scares me. Because they're going to be like, it's too dark. Let's push towards kids. I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping they don't. Because as a child of the 80s, there was a lot of dark stuff that was out there that kids watched. And they watched it with their parents. Let's not go back to PG. Let's not go to G. These people cannot be G. They can probably be PG-13. That's as much as they can go. R, maybe not. But if they go a hard PG-13, they can work. They can work really well. I just don't want them watered down. And I think that's what everybody is very concerned about. The fact that they're going to water down this faction. But those who are marks for Bray Wyatt and his faction, they are more concerned like I am. I really want this to work. I want this faction to be dominant because that has been an issue over the past few years. I'm still pissed off about what they did to Imperium, but there is a little bit of hope for Imperium. The fact that they might just add Ilya, might. But now that Paul Levesque is taking over, we know how much he's into factions. The fact that we had DX having the long run they had, there's a good chance they're going to have a good run here. I'm actually looking very positive upon this group, and I think it's going to turn out to be very well. I mean, it's going to go very well. My concerns aren't as high, but I understand why people have those concerns. My biggest concern is, well, I do have concerns, but one of my biggest concerns is if they're going to be watered down. But I don't think they are here. I think that after Windam passed, they're gonna give him honor. They're going to literally honor the characters and honor the actual lore that he created. And I think they're going to put it into this group. I don't think they're going to destroy it. I think that they're actually going to do good with it because of Windam Rotunda and how much he added to the industry, how much he added to the WWE. I don't think they're going to ruin it here. I'm honestly saying this with high praise. Their debut on the 17th of June Raw was amazing. It looked like a straight up horror show. If they keep that up, it's going to go well. I have high hopes. I don't think that Trips is going to ruin this. But I do want to hear what you guys think. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. For those who are major fans of Bray Wyatt like I was, do you guys think that they're going to ruin it? Because I think that now that Vince is gone, we're going to probably see a brand new faction that is way different than we've ever seen. There's probably been many factions in the past that was close to this, but I think it's going to be way darker, and I'm looking forward to it. But I do want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think, and let me know how you feel about it. If you like what I do, by all means subscribe, like this video, and share it with your friends. I will talk to y'all later. Peace out.